How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to Easter End Garage, where today we're going to start stripping back the layers on the 68 BSA B44. I'm going to do its next evolution. I'm going to turn it into a Scrambler slash enduro bike. I'm going to be changing the tank, the seat, handlebars, the front end. I found some pieces, so I'm going to be converting it back to a stock B44 front end. And I lowered the springs on this years ago, and now I'm going to put the stock ones back on, I think the 13-inch. So it's going to look a bit different. We're going to use the tank off the race bike over there because it's off a B25 BSA, which was kind of a more street and trail looking bike. So I got some tie bar handlebars, and we'll be getting rid of all the body panels, repainting these black, and kind of making it look more like an original BSA than the street tracker that it is now. So thanks for tuning in, and let's start getting this thing apart. First thing we'll do, we'll start taking the seat pan off. Just a couple bolts holding this on. I made this seat pan out of, it was a couple of pieces. It was originally on, I think, a BSA, but when I went to put this gas tank on here, it's off of a 1973 Honda XL350. The front of the shape of the gas tank didn't fit. So from here forward, I cut out and I put in some mesh and refiberglass and metal and all kinds of stuff I use there. So it's pretty much a custom-made piece, but not going to need it anymore because I'm buying a enduro style seat. For this, a Scrambler seat is kind of like a solo, so it's kind of oval shaped, and all I need to reuse is the bracket off the original seat off of this, and it should bolt right onto the frame. So I'll have an original style seat and the gas tank off the race bike, which is in the enduro Scrambler tank, and that'll start the look of it. Still going to retain the higher pipe. Alright, so if you can see there, see where I joined. From here forward was all homemade by myself, and the cutout was made to fit the shape of the original Honda tank. And my wife sewed up the seat cover, and that's just all bolted together. I'm going to put that up on the wall for a showpiece. And the tank was also modified because there was not a lot of room. The frame ran into the tank here, so a friend of mine and I cut the corner out of the gas tank, and we made that fit, welded it back up, and put a tank sealer kit into it. It never leaked, never bubbled the paint. We've had pretty good luck on the old bikes with the tank sealer kits. And let's see if we can pull this tank off. Not sure how I got it on here anymore. Oh, I have some tie wraps on there. Okay. So this being a Honda tank, it has the front rubber straps, or sorry, the front rubbers with the strap. So there's the Honda tank. This is the piece we cut off of it here to so it wouldn't hit the frame on the BSA. So that's another piece we'll hang up on the wall. Might use that on another project. So instead of drilling holes in the frame, I made this strap that just sits down over the frame, and there was already a hole drilled in here for a cafe style tank, so I just reused that. So I should be able to just take that off, and that's the mount for the that matches the Honda. I just made that out of a bunch of scrap metal. I had an old Honda bike here that I bought for a little project that I never ended up using. It had a couple of spare parts, so I robbed the ears off of it for this gas tank mount. Oh, my sinuses are acting up bad today. A lot of weather changes this week. Starting to sound like Willie Nelson. If I could just sing a little bit, I could make millions of bucks and not pay the income tax like he did. So, all they did there, I just took the original Honda rubbers and I just welded some bolts and I just spaced them out to the right spacing with washers. I made myself a custom little mount. Next, what should I take off? There's my voltage regulator. Fuse this all into that rubber. I'll bring the camera over in a little bit. I'll show you the dent that I had to put in the fender to make this aftermarket fender fit. Lots of rubber bushings. Yeah, okay. So next, maybe we'll take the side covers off. I'm not going to leave the 68 on. It was just I kind of wanted to make it look more like a street tracker. So we'll have to get a wrench in the back of there somehow. Show what size it is. Yeah, so I'll just probably repaint these black and have a look at some pictures on what the original decals look like on this. And probably make something look similar. These are homemade side covers that were made out of repurposed aluminum that I found laying at the end of my driveway one morning when I got up. So decided I could make better use out of them than them just laying at the end of my driveway. So there's the side covers. And I ended up putting an octagon style oil tank because when I cafeed it I had this open with no side covers. There's one panel there. And when I did that, I just wanted to cover it up, so I had to make some mounts off of everything to remount these homemade side covers that I made there. If I did have a really nice bike though, I definitely wouldn't probably modify it like this at all. I just buy one that looked like that. So you can see some of the repurposed side cover. Nice aluminum though, bends up easy. Nice and light for going fast. This thing tops out at about 76 miles an hour, so lighter is always better. So next I think I'll disconnect that battery before I make some sparks fly. So it seems I lost some footage again. I just took the controls, I'm not sure where it stopped, off. Headlight bucket and the throttle and the bar and mirrors. I'm going to be reusing the red grips with my black handlebars, so see if I can shoot some air under here and get these off. Oh. Best trick ever, using air for your hand grips, putting them on and taking them off. It doesn't require a whole lot of anything, so that's that. We'll take the handlebars off next. Lost all my wrenches here somewhere. So I was going to put some bearer end mirrors back on this thing. But I was just thinking I'm going to be doing some off-road riding. First time this thing is laid over, it's going to smash the bearer end mirrors off. So maybe I'll get a couple of cheap clamp-on mirrors. What the heck size is that? That way there'll be less parts to have to replace. Get those on. There's going to be a whole new triple clamp going on this. I'm building the front end out of two original BSA B44s. The stanchions were pitted, so I got a new set of stanchions down at British Cycle Supply. They're not sponsored. They're just a local company. They have a warehouse in the US, so we get all our British motorcycle parts usually through them. And that race bike I actually bought from the owner. He had that tucked away in his basement for years, and I purchased it from him. They used to sponsor that bike, but it was a race bike. So, alright, them handlebars are in rough shape. They were black. I got them off Kijiji for 15 bucks. They're aluminum. They're really thin. I almost think they were mountain bike handlebars, but they're 7/8, which is the same size. And I painted them white just to go with the theme. Something else to go on the wall of shame. So, what shall I do next? Here, we'll stick these handlebars on just to have a quick look. I don't know if these were the bar. I had chrome handlebars on this before, when I had it in its Victor format. And I don't know, I sold them at one of our club swap meets. I'm in a vintage bike club. It's the Atlantic Vintage Motorcycle Society here in Nova Scotia. I've been a member for 16 or 17 years, I think now. So that's the bars that I'm putting on it. Everything should fit up. I might have to reroute and lengthen my throttle cable to fit onto those bars. And everything else, so let's see. Let's stick that hand grip on there though. Shoot a little air, shoot a little air into it. And there we go, that's how slick that looks. It's a great little trick. Alright, let's start taking the front end off of this. It's got to come off anyway for, hopefully I'll get the new one put together this week. We had the new stanchions come in and we're just waiting on fork seals, and they just come in as well, so this was Tuesday or Wednesday night. See if I can go to my friend's place and we'll get those put together, and then I can bring them home and start fitting that on the front of this. I'll have to source some. I don't know what I did with the original shocks from this. I did have the original length ones, but I don't know where they're at now. Just loosen off the pinch bolts here on the triple clamps. This is a Norton road holder front end. I can't remember how many inches we shortened it for. When this was first a cafe bike, we had it shortened down quite a bit. So this really won't fit anything else. Here's that tool my friend made. Shout out to Lynn Gray. He cut that out by hand. And it fits, I think, maybe the clutch nut and these ones apparently. So let's see. There we go. Won't be no stripping nuts with that. Thanks again, Lynn. Worked perfect. Give it a gentle tap. Get that stanchion and start moving down a little bit. There she goes. Alright. She's hung up on my on the headlight bracket. I'll loosen it off some more. I want to thank everybody who's still hanging around. If you are, like I said, this is pretty boring. Pretty boring stuff. There we go. Pieces flying everywhere. My little socket shim, everything. Put all that back in. I'll put those in inventory. And by inventory, I mean the corner. Alright, let's see if we can get this guy to do the same thing. These are super fine threads on these. I'm always leery when I take them in and out. I always put lots of lube on them so they don't gall up the threads. See what this will do. There she goes. Get my gray wrench out, or spanner as he likes to call it. Just put a little spring tension into this. There it goes. Had my first negative comment there a couple of videos ago. I think I was working on a Corvette or something. A Corvette video. Guy said I was a clown and I should never be working on cars. So I don't know if it's a troll or what, but anyway, it kind of bothered me first because it was my first kind of negative comment. And then I was thinking, man, I've been working on cars since I was probably 12 years old, and I saved myself a lot of money over the years not having to take it into a mechanic. So I guess if I'm a clown, then I'm a clown that likes to save money, and I like the challenge of doing stuff myself anyway. So I kind of thought about it a bit, just like this guy doesn't know me, just like everyone, but I said it was my first one, so I took it a little too serious at first, but anyway, if I'm a clown, I enjoy what I'm doing, so. Yeah, oh. This one was totally crapped out. I wonder my suspension wasn't working. This one totally collapsed down, so. I think I had some problems with this guy. Gurgling bastard. Alright. And this goes into inventory. I'm going to probably rewire my headlight and stuff too. I've got, I want to put a high beam light on it. There's one in the light, but I never ever hooked it up. But I think when I rewire this one, I'm going to change a few things with the horn and everything else as well. So, alright, I'm not going to take the triple clamp off today because I don't want to lose them bearings all over the floor. I'm going to put them back into the other front end. So everything else I can just let hang for now. And when the front end comes, I'll pull off the triple clamps and get everything put back on. Oh no, it's not connected anyway. So this is the gas tank we're going to be putting on here. It is built for these frames, so I just got to redo the mount again. And we'll have my black handlebars on there with the red grips. And be a little higher seating position. I'm putting the stock foot pegs back on, which will raise it up higher. And I got a neat little belly pan from the same guys at the swap meet. I think this is an actual B44 BSA belly pan. It's got the cutouts for the drain, so it just bolts to the stock mounts over here. So I'll be putting that on as well. So, thanks again for hanging out in the garage with me today and getting this BSA stripped down and ready for its on and off road experiences next summer. Have a great weekend and we'll see you next week.